On August the 12th, a public meeting was held at the ball field to outline our plans for coming back to school amid COVID-19 concerns. Superintendent Josh Brummett and Principal Christy Grissom spoke to the crowd and laid out our plans for dealing with the pandemic. August 18th was the first day of school for the 2020-2021 school year. The day began with an assembly to welcome back students and to introduce new faculty members. It was also a time to give students information about our day-to-day procedures. After that, class meetings were held and school was officially back in session.
The Brashear Booster Club held their annual Hog Roast and Fun Night Friday at the ball field. Along with the meal, a variety of activities including a live band, games, silent auction, and home run derby were offered for entertainment. Thank you to the boosters and volunteers such as the Shout Club for all the given support to the school.
BHS held their first blood drive of the school year Tuesday at the Keller Building in downtown Brashear. We would like to thank the volunteers and all the people who turned out to donate blood.
The baseball and softball teams have been practicing and their seasons were scheduled to begin last week, but COVID-19 had canceled some of their early games on the schedule. The softball team kicked off their season at North Shelby Thursday. The Lady Tigers put together a very good defensive effort but couldn't generate enough offense as they fell short to North Shelby by a score of 2-0. Hannah Grissom had Brashear's only hit. Alexa Borgmeyer took the loss, striking out 12. Last week, the Scholastic Book Fair was at school. Displays were set up in the elementary gym where students could view and purchase books. On Tuesday, student nurses from Truman State University were here to conduct student health screenings. Height, weight, vision, scoliosis, and other tests were done for all grades K through 12. Friday night was a special night at the Tigers softball field. Volunteers from the Brandon Strong Group manned the concession stand to raise money to help with the hospital bills from this spring. Also, a gun raffle and pie auction were held. The Lady Tiger softball team hosted Lynn County Friday. The Tiger bats were active as Brashear pounded out 14 hits and a 5-4 win. Hannah Grissom had 4 hits, Haley McNamer, Ava Hagan, and Callie Altide had 2 hits each, with Sierra Snyder, Kinley White, Mackenzie Baker, and Alexa Borgmeyer also having hits. Alexa Borgmeyer picked up the win, scattering 8 hits and striking out 13. Senior night was held after Friday's game to honor our senior softball players. Callie Altide and Hannah Grissom were introduced along with their parents and were presented gifts by their teammates. Lynn County seniors were also introduced.
Hannah and Callie.
Brashear's newly formed cross-country team participated in their first meet last Saturday at Palmyra. Brandon Jochimson finished 28th, Alex Houghton finished 31st, and Ethan Powell came in 72nd. The Lady Tigers softball team visited Novinger Tuesday. Brashear wasted no time getting on the scoreboard with a pair of runs in the first. Brashear would score in all 5 innings on their way to a 13-0 win. Callie Altide, Kinley White, and Lacey Fisher each had 3 hits. Haley McNamer, Sierra Snyder, and Mackenzie Baker each had 2 hits, with Alexa Borgmeyer, Hannah Grissom, and Aubrey Borgmeyer also having hits. Alexa Borgmeyer threw a 1-hit shutout, striking out 11. The Brashear baseball team played their season opener at Novinger Tuesday. The Tigers took a quick 2-0 lead after 1 inning but couldn't score after that. Meanwhile, Novinger scored 7 in the bottom of the second and never looked back on their way to an 18-2 win. Garrett Hausman, Brandon Jochimson, and Jay Snelling pitched for Brashear. The Lady Tigers were on the road at La Plata Friday. Neither team could get an offense going until La Plata used some aggressive base running to manufacture a run in the third. La Plata would score again in the fourth and the sixth to claim a hard-fought 3-0 win. Kinley White, Lacey Fisher, Haley McNamer, Hannah Grissom, and Callie Altide all had hits for Brashear. Alexa Borgmeyer took the loss, striking out 8 and walking none. The Tigers played at La Plata Friday night. Brashear took a 1-0 lead in the first, but couldn't hold it as La Plata went on to win by a score of 8-2. Garrett Hausman had 2 hits, with Carson Irwin, Jay Snelling, and Brandon Jochimson also having hits. Carson Irwin, Jay Snelling, and Brandon Jochimson pitched for Brashear. Brashear played Norburn Saturday in the opening round of the Milan tournament. Brashear took a 1-0 lead in the first inning, but Norburn came back to take a 4-3 lead in the middle of the fifth. Brashear scored twice in the bottom of the fifth on Sierra Snyder's single for a time-limit 5th inning 5-4 win. Aubrey Borgmeyer, Sierra Snyder, Kinley White, and Alexa Borgmeyer each had 2 hits. Lacey Fisher, Haley McNamer, and Hannah Grissom also had hits. Alexa Borgmeyer picked up the win, striking out 9. The Lady Tigers scored a run in the top of the first in the championship game of the Milan tournament against host Milan, and that would prove to be all they would need. Alexa Borgmeyer pitched a 7-inning shutout to give Brashear a 7-0 win and the first place in the tournament. Alexa Borgmeyer and Hannah Grissom each collected 3 hits. Lacey Fisher had 2 hits, and Mackenzie Baker and Callie Altide also having hits. Alexa Borgmeyer pitched the shutout, striking out 13. Brashear traveled to Knox County Monday for softball. The game was all pitching and defense until the Lady Tigers managed to push across a pair of runs in the 5th. Knox County answered with the run in the 6th and a pair of runs in the 7th for a 3-2 walk-off win. Sierra Snyder, Kinley White, and Callie Altide had hits for Brashear. Alexa Borgmeyer got the start for Brashear, striking out 7 and walking 2. The Lady Tigers hosted Atlanta Tuesday night. The game was scoreless through 3 innings, but Atlanta got on the board with a pair of runs in the 4th and made their lead stand up for a 3-1 win. Kinley White and Alexa Borgmeyer had hits for Brashear. Borgmeyer took the loss on the mound, striking out 13 while walking 1. The Tigers hosted Atlanta for baseball Tuesday. Brashear jumped on the board with 3 runs in the second, then added 9 more in the fourth. Brashear would pound out 15 hits on their way to a 12-0 win. Austin Peterson homered for Brashear with Brandon Jochimson and Avery Zentz having 2 doubles each. Alex Houghton also doubled, with Carson Irwin, Jack Reeves, Jay Snelling, Garrett Hausman, and Lance Stutzman also having hits. Garrett Hausman pitched the shutout, striking out 6. The Brashear cross-country team competed at Warrington Friday. Anthony Shaw placed 77th and Landon Fisher placed 84th. The Lady Tigers took on Grundy Newtown Harris last Friday. Brashear scored twice in the first, but Grundy County answered with a run. After that, it was all Brashear as they continued to pile up the runs to claim an 11-1 win. Alexa Borgmeyer homered and pitched for Brashear. The Brashear baseball boys got on the scoreboard first at Grundy County Newtown Harris. 2 runs in the first and another in the second were enough as Grundy scored 4 in the second on their way to an 8-4 win. Garrett Hausman and Austin Peterson both homered for Brashear, with Carson Irwin and Brandon Jochimson also having hits. Carson Irwin, Garrett Hausman, Brandon Jochimson, and Jack Reeves pitched for. The Lady Tigers were at New Cambria Tuesday for a game with BMC. Brashear scored twice in the first, then broke the game open with 13 runs in the second on their way to a 20-0 3-inning win. Hannah Grissom went 2 for 2, driving in 6. Kinley White and Callie Altide also had 2 hits each, with Aubrey Borgmeyer, Sierra Snyder, and Haley McNamer also having hits. Alexa Borgmeyer picked up the win, striking out. The Brashear baseball team played BMC Tuesday. The Tigers scored in every inning except the second in the 5-inning 10-0 win. Brandon Jochimson had 3 hits for Brashear, Garrett Hausman had 2, and Carson Irwin, Alex Houghton, Austin Peterson, and Lance Stutzman also had hits. Jochimson threw the 2-hit shutout, striking out 10. The Lady Tigers hosted Milan Wednesday. Brashear took the early lead with runs at the bottom of the first, but Milan answered with a pair of runs in the top of the second. Brashear scored again in the second to tie the game at 2-2. There was no more scoring until Brashear pushed across the winning run in the sixth for a 3-2 win. Kinley White homered for Brashear, with Haley McNamer, Hannah Grissom, and Callie Altide also having hits. Alexa Borgmeyer picked up the win, striking out 5 and giving up no earned runs. Congratulations go out to Mr. Wick and the Brashear Tiger Marching Band. The band took second place in the recent Scotland County Band Competition. With the regular parade season canceled due to COVID-19 concerns, area bands have turned to virtual competition. Our band performed right here on the streets of Brashear and submitted a video of their performance to be judged. The Brashear Lady Tigers hosted the Beviers softball team Friday. Brashear took an early 2-0 lead after 1 inning and continued to score in every inning for a 12-0 win. Hannah Grissom had a home run in her 3 hits, with Lacey Fisher also having 3 hits. Sierra Snyder and Alexa Borgmeyer had 2 hits each, with Kinley White and Haley McNamer also having hits. Alexa Borgmeyer pitched 4 scoreless innings, striking out 11, with Callie Alltide pitching an inning of the shutout relief, striking out 1. Brashear hosted Bevier for baseball Friday. The Tigers took an early 1-0 lead, but Bevier scored 3 runs in the third to take on a 3-1 lead. Brashear answered with 4 in the bottom of the third, and the battle was on. Bevier scored 4 runs in the top of the 7th to take on a 12-11 lead, but Garrett Hausman homered and Jay Snelling's sac fly gave the Tigers a 13-12 walk-off win. Garrett Hausman had a single and 2 doubles to go along with his homer. Jay Snelling had a homer and a single, with Alex Houghton, Jack Reeves, and Lane Stutzman also having hits. Garrett Hausman got the start with Carson Irwin pitching in relief.
Monday night was senior recognition night at the Brashear Ball Field. Seniors Garrett Hausman and Austin Peterson were introduced to the crowd along with their parents, and they were presented with gifts by their teammates.
The Tigers hosted Linn County Monday. Brashear scored single runs in the first and second and 3 in the third, but it wasn't good enough as Linn County exploded for 7 runs in the fifth to claim a 9-6 win. Brandon Jochimson and Lane Stutzman both homered for Brashear. Carson Irwin had 2 hits, and Garrett Hausman, Jack Reeves, Jay Snelling also had hits. Brandon Jochimson, Jay Snelling, and Jack Reeves pitched for Brashear. Students at BHS have been hard at work with their students as the school year approaches the end of the quarter. This week found the chemistry students doing a lab work in class. On Thursday, BHS participated in a statewide earthquake drill day. This is part of a series of drills held throughout the year to ensure the safety of our students. The Brashear Lady Tigers hosted Green City last Thursday. Brashear jumped on the scoreboard with 3 in the first and never looked back on their way to a 15-0 4-inning win. Alexa Borgmeyer homered and doubled for Brashear. Callie Alltide had 4 hits. Aubrey Borgmeyer had 3 hits. Kinley White, Lacey Fisher, Mackenzie Baker, Haley McNamer, and Hannah Grissom had 2 hits each, and Sierra Snyder had 1 hit. Alexa Borgmeyer threw a no-hit shutout, striking out 8.
The Tigers played their last game of the fall season as they hosted Green City Thursday. Green City took a 3-2 lead after 1 inning, then ran away with the game by a score of 28-6. Austin Peterson had 2 hits for Brashear, with Carson Irwin, Alex Houghton, Garrett Hausman, Brandon Jochimson, Jay Snelling, and Avery Zentz also having hits. Carson Irwin, Garrett Hausman, and Jack Reeves pitched for Brashear. The Lady Tigers began their play at the La Plata tournament with Monroe City. Pitching and defense ruled the day as neither team scored until Brashear took a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th. Monroe City tied the game in the 6th, but Brashear scored 1 more run to claim a 3-2 win. Aubrey Borgmeyer, Lacey Fisher, Mackenzie Baker, Alexa Borgmeyer, and Haley McNamer all had hits for Brashear. Alexa Borgmeyer picked up the win, striking out 9. Brashear's second opponent in the La Plata tournament Saturday was Montgomery County. Like the first game of the day, runs were hard to come by until Montgomery County scored twice in the top of the 5th. Brashear managed to score a run in the bottom of the sixth, but fell short by a score of 2-1. Hannah Grissom had 2 hits for Brashear, with Lacey Fisher and Haley Namer also having hits. Alexa Borgmeyer got the start and struck out 6 while surrendering 8 hits. The Lady Tigers faced Knox County in the third-place game of the La Plata tournament Saturday. Knox County took a 1-0 lead in the first, then added 4 more runs to their final tally. Brashear didn't get on the scoreboard until they scored a pair of runs in the 7th, giving Knox County a 5-2 win. Aubrey Borgmeyer had 3 hits for Brashear, with Kenley White, Lacey Fisher, and Haley McNamer also having hits. Alexa Borgmeyer took the loss on the mound, striking out 9. Congratulations to the Brashear Marching Band for their first place finish in the Southern Boone Marching Classic. This year the Classic was a virtual event. Brashear has now had 3 first place finishes at Southern Boone.
Congratulations go out to our all-conference and all-district baseball and softball players. Callie Altide, Hannah Grissom, Garrett Hausman, Brandon Jocumson, Kinley White, Sierra Snyder, Aubrey Borgmeyer, and Alexa Borgmeyer.
On Wednesday, BHS held their first fire drill of the year. As the warning bell sounded, everyone filed out of the building to their designated meeting areas near the ball field to wait for the all-clear order.
Brashear drew the number 3 seed and faced number 2, Schuyler County, in district softball Thursday. The Lady Tigers took a 1-0 lead in the top of the second, only to have Schuyler score 2 runs in the bottom of the second. Brashear added 3 more runs to take a 4-2 lead, but saw that slip away as Schuyler County scored a run in the fourth and another in the fifth to tie the game at 4. Brashear finally scored 2 more runs at the top of the seventh to win the game at 6-4. Haley McNamer had 3 hits for Brashear, Hannah Grissom had 2, Aubrey Borgmeyer, Sierra Snyder, Kinley White, Alexa Borgmeyer, and Callie Altide also had hits. Alexa Borgmeyer picked up the win, scattering 6 hits and 6 strikeouts.
The Brashear Lady Tigers faced La Plata in the district championship game Friday. La Plata got all the offense they would need with a run in the first as Brashear failed to score in the 6-0 loss. La Plata got another run in the third, but Brashear kept the lid on La Plata's offense and gave themselves a chance to come back to the 6th when La Plata scored 4 insurance runs with 2 outs. Hannah Grissom had a double and a single for Brashear, with Alexa Borgmeyer and Sierra Snyder both having doubles. Alexa Borgmeyer only gave up 1 earned run while striking out 9.
The junior high basketball teams kicked off their season Tuesday night with a home game with Atlanta. The girls fell behind 8-1 after 1 quarter, but closed the gap 12-9 at halftime. Brashear was unable to maintain their rally and fell by a final score of 28-50.
Taylor Garlock had 4, Paige Stevesman had 4, Cassie Altide 3, Marissa McMahon 2, Heidi Lay 2. In the boys' contest, Atlanta's offense was too much for Brashear as they built up a 31-13 lead by halftime. Brashear never gave up in the second, but couldn't close the gap and fell by a score of 55-27. Clancy No had 7, Jack Reeves 7, Cole Irwin 6, Max Montgomery 3, Caleb Grissom 2, and Dayton White. Last Friday, BHS held an all-school assembly to mark the end of the first quarter. In addition to honors awarded for the first quarter, students received honors for the fourth quarter last year since no assembly was held due to school being cut short by COVID-19 last spring. This week, BHS is celebrating Red Ribbon Week to promote awareness of the dangers of drugs and alcohol. A series of dress-up days was held and students attended an assembly with the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Both of the Brashear Junior High teams traveled to their first away game to Buckley-Macon County. The Brashear Junior High girls started off and was ahead of BMC the whole game. BMC tried to close the gap against the Lady Tigers, but couldn't pull through as Brashear led to a 20-15 point win. Heidi Lay had 14, Marissa McMahon 4, and Bevan March 2. The Brashear Junior High boys didn't start off very strong compared to the girls. Brashear was down in the first quarter but bounced back in the second quarter with 18 points more than they had. After that moment, the Brashear boys was up every quarter and beat Buckley-Macon County with a score of 38-33. Cole Irwin had 13, Jack Reeves 12, Dayton White 9, and Max Montgomery 4.
Last Friday afternoon, BHS held their Halloween parade. People from kindergartners to faculty members dressed up to show off their costumes. The parade circled the inside of the gym, plus went down the front sidewalk so that the public could witness the parade. Best wishes go to Alex Houghton and Landon Fisher, who finished high enough in last week's cross-country districts to qualify for state competition Saturday in Columbia. The current COVID-19 pandemic has taken its toll on our junior high basketball schedule, with several games being postponed. We did get in a couple of games Thursday with Marion County. In the Thursday night girls game, Brashear fell behind in the early going and trailed 14-11 at halftime. The Lady Tigers struggled in the third, but came alive in the fourth to claim a come-from-behind 20-18 win over Marion County. Heidi Lay scored 9 points for Brashear, Paige Stutzman had 5, Marissa McMahon had 4, and Bevan March had 2 points. In Thursday night's boys game against Marion County, Brashear got off to a slow start and fell behind 13-6 at halftime. The Tigers came alive during the second half and outscored Marion County 18-16, but that still left them short of a win by a score of 29-24. Jack Reeves scored 12 points for Brashear. Cole Irwin had 4, as did Max Montgomery, also having 4. Caden Taylor scored 2 points, and Dayton White scored 2 points. A fire drill was held Thursday afternoon. The school regularly conducts safety drills of various types to ensure the safety of our students. On Wednesday, members of the BHS Student Council performed one of their annual service projects. The group headed to Hamilton Street Baptist Church in Kirksville, where they helped to prepare and distribute over 200 Thanksgiving meals. Today marks another week that the Brashear School has managed to have classes in person. With the rising number of COVID-19 cases in the area, most other schools have had to resort to virtual classes for at least a period of time. The junior high basketball season has been cut dramatically, with only 3 games being played prior to last Friday. Our girls team managed to play Atlanta Friday night, but came out on the losing end of a 25-22 score. Atlanta took an early lead and were up 12-6 by halftime. Brashear rallied to score 16 points in the second half, but it wasn't quite enough to get the win. Heidi Lay scored 14 points for Brashear, with Cassidy Altide and Paige Stutzman having 4 points each.
As the COVID-19 situation has continued to worsen, on November 24th, Adair County declared a county-wide mask mandate to try and slow the spread. Many events, such as the Novinger tournament, have been canceled. Meanwhile, the high school basketball teams have been practicing to be ready for their season opener at Higbee Monday night. The first home game is Tuesday with Lynn County. On the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, 16 members of the Shout Club headed to Kirksville to do their annual service project. The group helped prepare Thanksgiving meals at the Cornerstone Church and also shopped to fill blessing baskets as a part of a project for the Adair County Food Pantry. A Leadership Day was held on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Students from kindergarten to grade 8 spent the morning traveling from station to station in small groups, where they got to experience a variety of fun learning activities. I would like to congratulate Caleb Grissom. Caleb was recently named Student of the Month by Kirksville Optimist Club. The Lady Tigers traveled to Higbee Monday for their season opener. Both teams got off to a slow start, but Brashear had a 17-8 lead by halftime. Higbee couldn't close the gap in the second half, and Brashear came away with a win of 37-29. Hannah Grissom had 12, Callie Altine 9, Aubrey Borgmeyer 6, Lacey Fisher and Kinley White 4, Alexa Borgmeyer 2. The Brashear boys fell behind early in their game at Higbee Monday. After trailing 25-16 at halftime, Brashear made a comeback and took a small lead, but were unable to hold on to it and fell 54-51. Brandon Jochimson had 19, Garrett Hausman 15, Austin Peterson 9, and Carson Irwin 8. The Lady Tigers hosted Lynn County Tuesday. Brashear fell behind 17-5 in the first quarter and could never catch up as they took a loss 45-35. Hannah Grissom 13, Lacey Fisher 7, Alexa Borgmeyer 6, Aubrey Borgmeyer 4, Kinley White 3, Callie Altide 2. The Tigers got off to a good start against Lynn County Tuesday and had built a 31-19 lead by halftime. That lead shrunk into single digits late in the game, but Brashear made 9 out of 10 free throws in the fourth quarter to claim a 64-50 win. Garrett Hausman had 19 points, Carson Irwin 17 points, Austin Peterson 14, Jay Snelling 8, Lane Stutzman 4 points, and Landon Fisher 2 points.
Last Thursday night, the BHS Music Department presented their annual Christmas concert in the gym. Performers included the concert band, the B band, all of the elementary class choruses, along with vocal and instrumental soloists and small groups. Friday was the last school day before Christmas break, and the students got to do a variety of fun activities. The morning began with a murder mystery with everyone having a role to play. Santa put his prospective team members through their paces with a series of reindeer games. Later, groups played in the gym, watched movies, participated in science activities, and played other games.
The Lady Tigers kept pace with Meadville for the first quarter Friday, but Meadville took a 22-15 lead into halftime. 22 Meadville points in the third quarter iced the game as Brashear fell 32-61. Alexa Borgmeyer 8, Aubrey Borgmeyer 7, Callie Altide 7, Hannah Grissom 5, Lacey Fisher 3, and Kinley White 2. The Tigers fell behind a tough Meadville game Friday night, trailing 12-7 after the first quarter. Meadville held a 26-19 lead at halftime. Brashear's and Meadville's scoring fell off in the second half. Brashear couldn't make up any ground and fell 40-31. Brandon Jockinson had 15, Lane Stutzman 4, Carson Irwin 3, Garrett Hausman 3, Austin Peterson 3, and Avery Zins 3 points. Brashear was on the road to La Plata Tuesday. The Lady Tigers fought a seesaw battle in the first half and trailed 20-17 at halftime. La Plata got the upper hand in the second half and pulled away for a 53-35 win. Kinley White had 11 points, Lacey Fisher had 9 points, Aubrey Borgmeyer had 5 points, Alexa Borgmeyer 4, Callie Altide 3, and Hannah Grissom 3 points. The Tigers got off to a quick start in La Plata Tuesday and ran up a 32-13 lead by halftime. La Plata started to claw their way back in the fourth quarter, but Brashear hung on for a 58-47 win. Garrett Hausman had 16 points, Brandon Jockinson had 15 points, Carson Irwin 12, Lucas Keller 5 points, Avery Zins 4 points, Jay Snelling 3 points, Austin Peterson 3 points, and Landon Fisher 1 point.
The Lady Tigers hosted Atlanta Friday night. Atlanta jumped out to an early 12-2 lead after one quarter and were up 34-6 by halftime. Brashear never could get things going and eventually fell by a score of 56-22. Hannah Grissom had 8 points for Brashear, Lacey Fisher had 7, Aubrey Borgmeyer had 4, and Callie Altide scored 3 points. The Brashear boys in Atlanta had a real battle Friday night. Brashear had a 14-12 lead after the first quarter, but Atlanta held a small lead through most of the game. Brashear rallied to take a lead in the fourth, but couldn't hold it, and Atlanta claimed a 74-67 win. Garrett Hausman scored 22 points for Brashear, Brandon Jockinson had 17, Austin Peterson had 15, Carson Irwin had 7, and Lane Stutzman scored 6 points.